What's going on, traders? Hope everybody had a great 4th of July, and it is the first day back in the markets. Bit of a slower day to be expected, but it is Wednesday, July 5th, and we'll go over some of the price action today, as well as what I am looking at for tomorrow, July 6th. But before we get into it, a reminder that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. So with that being said, let's look a little bit more in depth here on the charts. Markets were basically flat today, about 0.15% in the red, down about 66 cents. Final print being 443.13. And we are still hanging out here right at this key area, right around $444. And markets have not been able to break through and get into this next bigger supply area. It's likely to see a bit more consolidation as we've had just a spectacular run. I am certainly keeping an eye on the gap here, so I definitely want to be watching that. We've gone over many of these levels, and I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter, considering that not much has changed overall as we seek to find balance. But just to reiterate, I definitely am going to be keeping an eye on that 441 area. What was the low here of the gap? Yeah, basically 441.11. So we'll be watching that 441 area to see if they start to push price back down and try to fill this gap. I'm not sure they'll be able to fill it completely. It's a possibility that we only come down into the daily 9 sitting at 439.38. I'm sure that will move a little bit as we move into tomorrow with the price action, but keeping an eye. So, if we do get into the gap, there could be a bit of a short trade there into that daily 9. But if we do get under, a complete fill of the gap would be down into around 438. But the bulls are definitely in charge. So it wouldn't surprise me if we only made it to the daily 9. Maybe we did a fake break and then pushed back up higher again. I was talking about yesterday in the last video, a bit of a pullback here would make sense to me. Not really a swing trade idea yet for me, but just a little cool off. We have a potential triple top in this area as we've hit this 444 a bunch of times here, unable to break through. But certainly if we break over, come back and retest, and buyers show some support, and then we'll be looking for that 449 area, and ultimately my next bigger target is up by that 450 for the bulls. Let's go a little bit deeper into the charts, at least from the intraday basis. And today was very nice as far as how we opened. Let me go into this here. I posted on Twitter, ES was a bit closer, and I was able to take advantage of this trade. Actually, I made an entry in pre-market and got probably the best move of the day on this opening rally, which was pretty nice and gave me about 20 points. We were coming right into this 23.6 retracement here around 441.20. I don't really trade options right off the open due to the increased IV, and you never really know what's going to go on right at the open. But still, for me, as long as this 441.21, 441 holds, I'll still be in by the dip mode. If we start to get under, then we can look for a little bit of that further retracement down, potentially into that 38.2 here extension, which is sitting around 439.29. So I'll be watching that as well. We were talking in the last video, and let's actually get into. Nope. I believe this is the gap fill. I marked off? Yeah, here's the gap fill levels that I'm watching here. So just so you know, we have it marked off. You guys want to take a look at those. 441 down to 438.40. But okay, I don't have it marked off on here. But if you were able to watch the video I posted yesterday, we were talking about a potential retracement down into some of these bull targets that all hit on our way up as we broke out of this balance zone. And what I'll be watching for here, and it's pretty much starting to establish, it's a short week, obviously, so we'll see what tomorrow brings. But I'm watching for the markets to create a new balance zone here in the markets. And we talked about a possible, like I was saying earlier, talked about a possible pullback into one of these bull targets, retracing into it, and that's exactly what we got. Perfect retracement right basically into that 441.40, 38 area, boom, and then nice move up. So what I'll be watching now is for us to establish a new balance range that we could continually trade in for a little bit after we have seen such a nice trend, a one-directional move in favor of the bulls. So right now I'm going to establish the balance pretty much at that 444, or just above 443, 75 area. As you can see, it just peaked a little bit out of the balance zone here, but I'll be watching to see if this is in fact the range that we do establish pretty much between the zero line on the fib as well and the 23 retracement right here. So that's what I will be watching. And it's about $3 range or so. So it is tradable. But when we get into these consolidation cycles, we just want to be careful, and realize that we're in this particular mode of price delivery, and not to really press on the gas too much. We really need to see a break in either direction for further continuation to see a new trend start to either side. Now, which side will it be? I have no idea. But certainly, I'd be looking potentially if we do get some confirmation here below that 441, like I was saying, we'll be looking at maybe 440 puts for that trade down into here and taking most off, and then potentially aiming to retest this bigger balance zone one more time, and then maybe getting that nice reset coming into 438, 439, and then from here bouncing and heading back up higher. Otherwise, for the breakout trade, we'd have to see over that 444, come back, retest, and then, if we do, then possibly looking at 445 calls, and then, taking some off. And then, if you're swinging, ultimately, of course, it's bigger picture, but I'm looking for that 450 area. But you could still, potentially, come back, and if we retest that 444, that 445 calls, or 450, just depending on what the delta is on that trade. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward range to work on. Let's see if this is established as our new balance as the markets trade in this shorter week. But I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go over. Yeah, I mean, not too much has changed overall. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, it would mean a ton to me if you would subscribe to the channel, turn on those notification bells so that way you are alerted every time we post new market updates. And don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps these videos get pushed out to a broader audience on YouTube. So thank you so much for joining me. I wish you the best of luck in your trading tomorrow. Make sure you follow your plan and your rules, and take care.